Hi there! Today I have an unboxing and review of these pretty newly listed bootleg dolls from AliExpress. To be precise, it is a combination of a Barbie head and a fashion royalty body, I guess. I do not collect fashion royalty dolls, so I do not have a comparison with the body, but I do have the heads that are originally made by Mattel and are used by this company for this hybrid, and you can see it in the end of the video, but for now I think it's better just to unpack and show you the dolls so you can have your own first impression of it. First, you do have, of course, the packaging of the doll. It had a pretty rough time during shipping to me, but I think the box is still in okay condition. The overall look is pretty nice, I think. The white color, the little window you can see the doll through, and of course also the logo does have a nice and elegant look. I guess the company name is Xian Xian Princess. Not quite sure if that's a company or part of the doll's name. Honestly, for a bootleg doll like this one, it is not really important. On the back side we got some product info, and the product name is Supermodel Doll. The product model is, look at the package. I love that, that's great. Applicable age over 14 years old, okay. Product description, please follow the product instructions. Well, spoiler alert, there are no product instructions. Maintenance, wipe the doll with a clean cloth. What a great tip, I couldn't think of that myself. They even tell you about the manufacturer and the address of this company, I guess. I will not break my tongue for this, but I love the fact that the whole company, or the manufacturer, lives in room B309. That's great. I think a whole company in just one room, that's amazing. The sides of the box are highly inspired by the Barbie looks box design. At least they used a different font for it, so I appreciate the effort. Sadly, it's not visible in the footage, but her left thigh is pretty dirty, but it is not something you can wipe off. It is simply embedded in the plastic. Freeing this girl from the box is pretty easy because she is only held on the cart by 3 straps. Her bust is very loose, and one of the reasons for that might be the torso, because it is not fully closed on my doll. But even when I press the torso together, the bust still is very wobbly. This doll does have a company marking on her butt. There is a heart, 2023, and Xian Xian. Cute, definitely a very cute design. Also, the connection between her legs of the torso is also not completely closed. As you can see here, she does have rubber arms and also rubber hands. Even the pecs are rubbery, so here's not a lot of durability showing. You should not try to pull these pieces apart because I'm very sure that the rubber joints will snap, but at least you can move the joints freely. The doll can hold its position, at least as long as you don't put a lot on clothes on her, but you will see that later in the video. The lower legs are also made from this rubber material. Not sure if you can see it on the footage, but the material is not really nicely casted. There are a lot of swirls inside of the rubber. It is like a lower quality rubber figurine, I would say, or an older one, when the technique was not so good as it is of today. But the positive thing here is it does not have any toxic smell. It has no smell at all, and also the rubber is not sticky. It has a normal, maybe a bit roughened touch to it. The upper leg is plastic, the same plastic as the torso, but sadly the joints are also made out of this rubber material, which is lacking of durability. In case you do have this doll or you plan getting this doll, I highly recommend while posing it that you grab on the joint itself rather than on the legs, so you can prevent the joint from snapping. Here we do have this pretty face, and it is a very pretty face. Mattel usually does a very good job on doll faces. Maybe not for every celebrity doll, but their overall design is always nice in my opinion. Of course, this head does not have any marking. The material of the head itself is nice. Maybe it's vinyl, I'm not quite sure if it is, to be honest, but it feels like it. The design of the face screening is very pretty. The eyes look so nice and the lips are very shiny, but in person it looks a little bit more like a decal than a nice face print. It's also very shiny around the eyes, but on footage and on pictures I'm pretty sure that this is a very nice face screening and definitely nicer than resin printing. Back to the head itself, it is a bit squishy, and it would be more squishy if the doll would not have so much hair, but that of course is a positive thing. The hair is simply beautiful. It's high quality nylon, the same you would expect on an older rainbow high doll, I guess, and there's a lot of it. She does have so much hair. It is nicely curled, it's long, it's pretty. Yeah, I cannot say any bad word about the hair. I wish Barbie would do hair like this nowadays. It is a very thickly rooted head, and even the scalp is painted. Very well done, I would say. Of course, the doll is shedding quite a bit. I did not completely brush out her curls, but still there is a lot of loose hair, which is not a big thing because she has so much of it. Here's a skin comparison with Made to Move Barbie bodies. On the left you have the green tie-dye, and on the right side we do have the pink tie-dye Made to Move yoga doll body. With a very bright light, I think the colors are washed out quite a bit, but in person the color of the body is right in between these colors. It is not as dark as the green tie-dye, but also not as light as the new neutral color that the pink tie-dye body has. You also can see is that the head is simply lighter than the rest of the body. Also the body is made out of different materials and therefore do have color differences, but to be honest they are not so strong, especially not in natural light. I think with artificial light the differences are way more visible. To me personally it is not a big deal, but for some collectors it might be. But we are talking about a bootleg doll, so I'm not quite sure if that is really important. Here we do have the doll with some Mengf and other company heads, hybrids, and a Mengf body on itself. On the far left we do have what Mengf called super white. Then the Defalusi head is on a white Mengf body. The MGA top model head is on a beige skin body, and the one on the far right is called Hungarian skin. In case you don't have these kind of dolls at home, I would say the far left, the super white skin tone, is not really available with Barbie dolls. Maybe the vampire dolls, the Twilight ones. I'm not quite sure because I don't have one of these. The one with the Defalusi head, the white one, is pretty much the same skin tone as the purple top Made to Move. The beige one is comparable with the pink top Made to Move, and the Hungarian skin is maybe a little bit lighter than the floral one. The skin tone of the Xian Xian Princess here lies between the beige and the Hungarian skin, but it's pretty hard to see the difference in general because under the bright light the Mength bodies do have quite a shine and the Xian Xian doll is definitely matted. The doll on the far left does have the 2020 torso. All the other Mength dolls do have the 2021 torso. There's not a big difference, but it is pretty much thicker in the waist, the 2021, and there's also a bit more plastic on the butt. They changed it in 2021 so that you can push the leg a little bit more to the back, but you can see it later in this video. I do this comparison to show you that this body is not a Mength body. I simply don't like the fact that people think that the Mength body is a clear knockoff of a fashion royalty body. In my opinion, that is not the case. We can discuss about the idea of being highly inspired by or just ripping off a design of another company, but of course it's totally fine to have a different opinion on that. I would love to compare a real authentic fashion royalty body with these doll bodies, but I don't have a modern fashion royalty body and it makes no sense to me to buy one just to compare it. You will have to wait for pictures with real fashion royalty dolls by fashion royalty collectors, I guess. The only thing I could find is this Reddit post I have linked down in the description. It contains a very nice review of these Xian Xian dolls, and the person says that the body of these dolls is pretty much like the Nuface body. So yeah, I wish I would have seen pictures of that, but sadly there's only one picture with different dolls side by side, but they are fully closed and therefore you cannot really see the differences or the similarities. So maybe one of you can tell me if this is a straight knockoff of a fashion royalty body or if they have done some alterations. The hands are also different. Here we do have a Mitzi hand, which is also the 1.0 Mitzi hand, or better said, the hands of the 1.0 Mitzi body. I think the whole torso is slimmer than the Mength body, therefore I also grabbed the 1.0 Mitzi body to compare it with this one, because the Mitzi body, or the first Mitzi body, is also pretty much slim. The feet are comparable, but I think the Mitzi one is a bit higher in heel. But overall the size is pretty much comparable because the Mength feet are a little bit tinier. And they do have a little bit more of detail. The one that the Xian Xian company uses does not have so much detail, it is pretty much flat underneath. And of course none of the other dolls do have a material like the Xian Xian doll. they all use not completely hard plastic, because the Manx body does have parts from different material, but they are by far not as wobbly or non-durable like the one here from this Xian Xian doll. The mobility of the head is quite good on the Xian Xian doll, and of course on the hybrid that you can make with the Manx body. They do both have a good joint on the neck, and therefore you have a lot of options to pose the head of your doll. Here you can see how far you can spread the legs of the doll from the side. I guess it is important for quite some people who would like to photograph their dolls in a variety of positionings. And the 2021 torso of the Manx body and also the Xian Xian one does have the same range of motion. And this also applies from the front. When it comes to sitting, there is a difference. The Xian Xian body does not sit completely straight. It is always leaning back. That is not because of the hair. You can think about the fact that the hair has some weight to it, but it is a construction. The lower torso is not completely straight and therefore, or maybe the legs are not completely cut out far enough, so it is like a Barbie that has the same articulation. They also cannot sit up straight, but at least the main body you can see can sit up straight. So in case that is important for you, yeah, this body here can sit up completely straight, regardless if it is the 2020 torso or the 2021. Here we do have the movement of the arms. I would say the movement or the range of movement is quite the same. But of course the rubber material of the Xian Xian doll would allow some manipulation that is not possible with the more harder material of the Manx arm. And here we also have the Mitzi body. She cannot bend her arm as much as the other two can do that, and the Mitzi body is completely made out of hard plastic. There's no material that is a little bit softer beside the hands. So movement on these dolls is a bit more limited. This comparison here is a little bit unfair because it shows the newest or the latest Manx body that has simply more articulation and Of course she can touch her face. She even has some rotating joints on her thighs, so this body does have way more movement, but it is also way more expensive, so it is an unfair comparison, but I would like to show you what is available if you don't want to pay a lot of money for a fashion royalty body, but you still would like to have some quality with even better movement. Here's also a better view on the two doll bodies sitting actually on a chair. As you can see, the Xian Xian doll is leaning back. It's not terrible, but it is visible. And of course, a very important fact, all girls need shoes. And these girls here do have a very special size and material for their feet, and it is not super easy to find shoes for them. The first shoe model you can see here is an authentic Barbie shoe with a B under it, so it should be wearable by a standard foot. Barbie standard foot, of course. This first shoe here is a standard model that you find quite often nowadays. I really like it. I like to use it on the Mength body and even on other dolls. It is a simple shoe, but it usually fits on different doll feet. But here it is simply a bit too small. The white shoe is not made by Mattel. I don't know who made it, but it is a very nice shoe. You see it very often on AliExpress, and I like to use it on Mength and also on Kismele and even on Barbie feet, but it is also way too small for this girl here. Next are these purple shoes that are, I think, you see these shoes very often. They come with different fashion packs from different manufacturers. They are also available on AliExpress on their own. I have to say I don't like the model too much, but it fits a lot of dolls. It even fits the Mitzi body, and this is even harder to find shoes for that than for this girl here, and therefore maybe it's interesting for you. Because you can squeeze in the foot on these shoes. It's not super easy, to be honest, because the material of the shoe is not really great and the material of the feet is very squishy, so not a good combination, but it works in the end. This lilac shoe here is also an authentic Barbie shoe. I don't have a lot of this shoe model. I have only one pair in red. I don't know how old this model is, to be honest, and it is the only real Barbie piece that fit on these feet in my collection. The next one is the second best fitting for an authentic Barbie shoe. This model here is definitely made in the early 2000s. I'm very sure that it is the case. You still get them on AliExpress, and maybe some newer dolls even also have this shoe model. It is an interesting shoe model and it fits a lot of different other dolls on the feet, therefore I do have a few of them, but you cannot squeeze in the feet completely into these shoes. But still it looks quite good, I think. There are good news for all the collectors under you that like to collect the mini brand's fashion items. There are quite some shoes that will fit on these feet. The boots are in general no problem, and the blue high-heeled sandals and also the red high-heeled sandals are a perfect fit on these feet. It looks like they were made for these feet, and that's the reason why I think that this body here is a straight knockoff of a fashion royalty body, because I think that the mini fashion brand's design team had exactly this kind of feet in mind while creating some of the shoes. And I have seen some seller pictures on AliExpress that use pictures of the shoes already on a doll feet, and I simply don't have this kind of doll feet, and therefore I'm pretty sure it is a fashion royalty feet. And please, if you do have fashion royalty dolls and you may have mini brands fashion shoes, please just let me know if it looks quite the same to you. And now, as you might know, I really love to style my dolls. And of course, this pretty girl here will also get a styling. And we will talk about the ugly stuff after that. This girl here has some beautiful auburn hair, and therefore I decided to give her more of a fall look rather than a summer look. I have to say, I had a hard time styling her because of her very wobbly limbs. She's not a very stable doll to put clothes on. Even this pretty light coat is a problem for her. She cannot really bend her arms, and her legs are also not really stable, I would say. If I would have put more clothes on her or heavier clothes, she couldn't have stand properly anymore, so yeah, it is a problem. I guess for people who really like only to take pictures of their dolls, it might be even a positive thing, but for people like me who like to style their dolls and enjoy the result, it is problematic to have a wonky leg like this one, or wobbly leg, whatever you would like to call it. And now to the ugly things I have to say about this doll. Yes, she is pretty. You do have a doll here that got the looks, but not the quality. And definitely not the own design. As I said before, I cannot say for sure that this body is a straight knockoff of a fashion royalty body because I simply don't have it. But to me it ticks all the boxes for being a counterfeit or bootleg doll. The quality of the material for the body is very low. Maybe some of you would like to hear something different, but it is a very low quality doll body. The overall material that had been used on this body is simply bad. The plastic is very plasticky, it is hollow, it is not nicely finished. The rubber material is way too bendy, it is so wobbly, so honestly I have no clue what to do with it. You can just dress the doll with at least a little bit of clothing and then put it on the shelf in hope that the legs are not bending to the ground. But of course it's all about the money, correct? So let's talk about the price. I know that when you're from the US you have to pay around $16 to $20 for this girl. I paid 20 euros because I cannot buy from the seller that most of you can buy this doll from, but the prices are definitely comparable. The only difference is that the seller I bought my doll from does only have this girl with this printing, only with the different hair colors. They don't have the other ones, but we will talk about it in a few seconds. So I divide the price for this doll 50-50, 10 euro or $10 for the body and $10 or 10 euro for the head. And for $10 or 10 euro price tag, this body of course is okay. You cannot get a body for that price in any way that looks like this one here. But as I said, it does have the look, but it does not have any quality. This is here a junk doll body. There's nothing I can say positive about it. It's a trash body. Now to the head. The head alone is very pretty. The quality is decent. It has a lot of beautiful hair. The face screening is not top notch. It is not super high quality, but it looks like it, at least in pictures. So overall the price for the body and the head together is okay. It is not great, but it is okay. But in case you would like to have a nice body and the head is not really important for you, don't buy this doll, it is not worth it. And definitely do not buy this doll in general for a higher price. You will be disappointed, especially when you do own more dolls. When you're totally new to the doll hobby, maybe that's fine for you, but I don't know. I don't think it is worth the money you have to pay for it, even not the lower price. It is a fun doll to have because we do have here a hybrid doll. The head is a Barbie head. All of the heads are Barbie heads, and the body, I think, is a fashion royalty one. And in case you like clone dolls and everything, this is a fun doll to have. But in case you would like to have a doll that looks more like a supermodel or something, I highly recommend taking a few more bucks and buy a body on its own, give it a Barbie head or another head, whatsoever. You will have so much more fun and so much more quality than you will have when buying this girl here. So, as I said, this company here uses Barbie heads. First, I will show you the more obvious clone doll or the head comparison with fake and original. Since I was not able to buy her, here are pictures from other customers from the AliExpress reviews. Since the promo pictures simply do not really show the details of the doll faces. So here we do have a picture up front and one from the side, and I'm pretty sure that you can see this one here is definitely and absolutely a straight knockoff from a Barbie closed mouth Maggie face. Maybe the details are a little bit off or a bit washed out, but I'm pretty sure everyone can see the similarities. Next we do have the girl that I have bought in comparison with fashionista number 147. And as you can see, there are quite a lot of similarities, but also some differences. The nose from the bootleg girl is a bit smaller or just slimmer, and she does not have this hump on her nose. But still, I have to say I'm very sure that the bootleg face is based on this fashionista, and there's a good reason for that, because I know everyone knows the word recast, and when you talk about recast, you usually think of the process just taking one piece, making a mold out of it, and then cast another item based on this mold you have taken from the original. But nowadays, bigger Chinese companies do it not that way anymore. They just search for images in the internet from different angles of one doll, then they simply gather all the information and transfer it to a 3D modeling program, and voila, they do have a doll face. A few iterations here and there, and they even have a new doll face that they use for their own products. And I guess they did the same thing with the body, and I simply do not have pictures of an original fashion royalty body, so I cannot say if it is like I said before or not. And in general, as collector, we always have a hard time nowadays, because there is a fine line between recasting an item and being highly inspired by, because that's how economy works. When you do have a successful product, others will try to steal it or do their own interpretation to get also something from the money. And that's how it ever was since. Looking into doll history, I guess Barbie is the most successful example for that. Sometimes you get your idea from someone else and make the best out of it, which is often way more successful than the original item. But back to our doll here, as I said, this is simply a pretty much low quality bootleg doll, and this review is all about showing you the pros and cons of this doll, so you as customer can decide, is this doll interesting for me or is it a pass. So far I did not talk about the last girl they are selling with different hair colors, and that's simply because I really wanted to talk about the recast theory first. And this girl here, I think, is exactly the same face mold as the girl that I have bought, just with a different screening and of course a very lighter skin tone. I do not have any proof for my theories, so of course you can fight me. I do not have any problem with the fact that you might disagree. I just wanted to show you this review and of course my own opinion, and I'm happy to hear your opinions about the whole issue or this doll in general. Do you have her or one of these, and do you plan to get one, or what are your thoughts in general about it? Enough for today. I guess I already talked way too much, but I hope you take a little bit more information out of this video and you had some fun with it. Therefore, thank you so much for your time. I hope you have a nice day and of course also a nice new week. Bye!